On this episode of Time About the Movies, we've got a big ensemble cast who brings Steve Harvey's self-help book to life to the big screen. Think Like a Man. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the latest Nicholas Sparks adaptation starring Zac Efron and Taylor Schilling, The Lucky One. And it is Earth Day weekend, so that means Disney Nature is going to have a new film out, and that is Chimpanzee. 3 films to take a look at for April 20th, 2012. This is Time About the Movies.
Sorry, Jesus has my heart. I love Jesus too. Hey, give me some for Jesus.
Guys will be guys.
What is wrong with the men of this generation?
But on April 20th,
What do you call the 3 rings of marriage? Engagement ring, wedding ring, and the suffer ring.
when women get their playbook,
Act like a lady.
But think like a
oh,
man.
that's not good. The game is on.
This is war, gentlemen.
I don't go out with guys who don't open the door for me.
Really?
No, he didn't.
Think like a man.
Gotcha.
April 20th.
Welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the 3 films that make up April 20th, 2012. And we're starting off, of course, with Think Like a Man. It follows 4 couples, the women partners being readers of Steve Harvey's best-selling book called Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman. When the men learn the women are hooked on Harvey's advice, they try to turn the tables on their mates. And this was right around the time when Steve Harvey's popularity was really coming into play, especially with his success on Family Feud. He had a talk show that came out the very same year. I mean, his career was kind of on a rebound after, it got started back in the 90s with a couple of shows for ABC and, of course, the one he did for the WB, which ran for about 7 seasons. But, like I've said before, I think it's really funny how the best romantic comedies that have come out as of around that time period that this movie was coming out was mostly centering around, black people, African Americans. I mean, we talked about like Just Right, Jumping the Broom, Last Holiday, all really good movies overall. And this one is another one that just really works so well, mostly because of how great the cast is in this. You got Gabrielle Union, Taraji P. Henson, Romany Malco, Megan Good, Jerry Ferrera, Michael Ealy, Regina Hall, Jennifer Lewis, Kevin Hart, Gary Owen, a really, really stacked cast in this movie. I mean, there's 3 things going for it right there, and the film actually is a whole lot better than you would believe. It's a mainstream movie, but it isn't a movie where, it's your typical schlocky mainstream movie. Though this is probably one of the best romantic comedies I've seen since 500 Days of Summer. That's how good this movie was. Like, I love the way they took the self-help relationship book and actually made a good scripted comedy out of it. And they did a better job with a movie like this and something like, He's Just Not That Into You, or what we're going to see in the next month with movies with What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is, trust me, a much, much worse movie than this film. This film actually tries. That one fails miserably. What makes this one so great is that you got a great cast involved in this. Like I said, these are all very, very good people in here. Honestly, I think Kevin Hart gets way too much exposure in the commercials for this, because they promote him as like the big headliner of the movie, and he really isn't. Like, he's not in the movie that long, but for the times he's in there, he is really good. And I thought he was kind of being way too overexposed when those previews were coming out. And I like how they use Steve Harvey in here. He keeps showing up, and it actually is very well done. He shows up every once in a while to explain some of the points of the characters talking on various TV screens. And it's not like it's not like he shows up every once in a while. He'll show up every couple of minutes, and only for a few seconds to give you kind of an idea of what his book tells you about the specific situation. I thought that was the best way they could honestly do that. You can also buy into the characters very well. You can easily relate to people like this. The happily divorced guy, the guy who refuses to grow up, the player, the liar, the happily married guy. You've met somebody who has been that person in your life at some point. And again, great direction by Tim Story. He stumbled a bit with the Fantastic Four movies, but you see what he's able to do with stuff like this in the same style that he used in Barbershop. I mean, you got good writers on here, Keith Merriman and David A. Merriman, who actually make a much better comedy than they did with Friends with Benefits from the previous year. There's only 2 things I really didn't like about this, and one of them is that they used the worst movie cliche you can use, the liar reveal. I really hated it, and I was really hoping they could find a way around it, but it's in here, and it sucks, but it just really felt like you could have done a whole lot better without having that in there, honestly. The only thing I could say about the movie that doesn't work is that it kind of ends abruptly. Like, Steve Harvey doesn't show up again to kind of wrap things up or anything. The movie just kind of stops. It's just like, I mean, it really just ends. It does lead to a really good, funny scene where you have the main male characters in the movie in a basketball game with real life basketball players, which, if we're being honest, probably could have been something they could have thrown in the beginning, at earlier point in the movie, but not at the end of it. Like, again, very nitpicky things about the film in general, but I did overall really enjoy this movie. I think it is a very good film. It's the best romantic comedy I've seen since 500 Days of Summer. Almost everything about it works overall. A couple of bad things, but not enough to make me hate the movie overall. And trust me, this one is definitely much better compared to the sequel that we'll get to 2 years later, which feels like a typical Hangover knockoff. So take that for what you will. That's Think Like a Man. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Nicholas Sparks' latest adaptation, The Lucky One.
I just found it. Like I was meant to. Got yourself a guardian angel.
Can I help you?
You got a great laugh, you know that? And there's something that I've been meaning to tell you. I found your fiction.
Everything can happen for a reason.
Should be kissed every day, every hour, every minute.
The Lucky One, rated PG-13, starts April 20th.
Yeah, you should consider yourself the lucky one if you haven't had to sit through this movie, because, yeah, it's pretty bad. Zac Efron stars as Logan Tybalt, a U.S. Marine who finds a photograph of a young woman while serving in Iraq and carries it around as a good luck charm, and later tracks down the woman, played by Taylor Schilling, with whom he begins a relationship. Insert typical Nicholas Sparks tropes here, and this one is definitely the worst of the Nicholas Sparks movies we've gotten to at this point. I mean, this one is about as standard and as generic as you can get, and it really, really suffers. I like Zac Efron, I like Taylor Schilling, I like Blythe Danner, but man, they are completely wasted in this movie. They are not engaging whatsoever, they're lackluster characters, and yeah, they are really, really terrible, and the scenarios that they put these people in, it's supposed to be like this serious event, but no, it's freaking hilariously bad. Like, this has one of the most "you've got to be kidding me" climaxes you'll ever see, that takes place during like a thunderstorm, and it suddenly becomes a weather disaster movie. It's just kind of like, why is this even in here? What are we doing here? Like, it's the worst. It's the worst possible ending you could have for a movie like this. It's not interesting. It's not engaging. It's really, really stupid. Like, you will be laughing your ass off every time you see how this ends, because it's that bad. It is that terrible of an ending. Like, there's no reason for them to go down this pathway the way they go down here. But yeah, this movie is pretty freaking awful, man. I got nothing else for you. This is a pretty bad movie, The Lucky One. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here. That's Disney Nature's latest film, Chimpanzee.
Disney Nature invites you to a once-in-a-lifetime motion picture event. On April 20th, in the deepest reaches of Africa, experience a true-life adventure of danger, survival, and an unexpected friendship never caught on film before. Chimpanzee. See it opening week and help save chimpanzees. Rated G. Only in theaters April 20th.
Yes, you've never seen this story told before like this. Pay no attention to Mighty Joe Young or King Kong or Planet of the Apes. No. This is the first time we're dealing with this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, BS right there. But this is a nature documentary about a young common chimpanzee named Oscar who finds himself alone in the African forest until he's adopted by another chimpanzee who takes him in and treats him like his own child. This is narrated by Tim Allen, and it's about what you expect from a Disney nature documentary overall. It's a documentary where you look at it, and you can definitely see a lot of the same things that made stuff like Earth, and also, what was the other one they did recently? Oceans, and African Cats, pretty much on that same level in general. There's nothing about this that's really new or engaging overall, but it is what it is. It delivers on what it promises. There's nothing harmless about it. It's a harmless documentary, honestly. It's nothing, excuse me. It's nothing bad. It's nothing like offensive or anything. It's a type of movie you expect with for the kids out there on Earth Day, and to get a good history lesson out of it on how these monkeys live and all that. Like, I got nothing else for you in this one here. I mean, there's not really much more I could add to it, but yeah. Anyway, that is Chimpanzee for you. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we take a look at 4 more movies to wrap up April before we get to the summer movie season rush. We have Arm Animation following up on Arthur Christmas in the holiday before with their latest stop-motion animated feature, The Pirates Band of Misfits. We have what should be a winner with Jason Segel and Emily Blunt in the Nicholas Stoller-directed The 5-Year Engagement. Of course, from the same people who gave us Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It should be a winner, but it's not. Jason Statham as well as a new movie out called Safe, and we have Edgar Allan Poe's classic story of The Raven being adapted to the big screen. Not as the story from the book overall, but no, it's an action movie with Nicolas Cage in it, and John Cusack in it, and yeah, you could probably see where the problems come into play for that one. So 4 films to take a look at next time. We'll take a look at those tomorrow on the show. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. Check out our playlist. Check out the previous episode as well. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.